there are quotes from her designers saying, the Queen dresses herself. We provide clothes for her, but she decides what she's going to wear. And if she doesn't like something, or if she doesn't think it's appropriate, then she's not going to wear it.
You know, I know you say that she sort of created this signature look that was consistent, but did we see any sort of style evolution over the decades?
Yeah, I think that was what was really interesting about it. So you can kind of sum it up by saying she wore colour block coats and she always wore hats. But actually, the length of her skirts did change a little bit. She never quite went like the full mini skirt in the 1960s, but I think there was a little glimpse of knee there at one point. And also, I really noticed that in the 1970s, when these kind of big, long, flowing maxi dresses and caftans were in style, she actually really embraced that trend, especially in the evenings. You would really see her in these big, bold printed evening gowns, sweeping skirts. And I think that was her way of kind of having a little bit of fun with fashion. And actually, in the 1950s, she really didn't wear the kind of clothes that we saw her wear later in her reign. It was very much that of the moment, what a kind of young woman would be wearing. So those nipped in waist, those big skirts. It's quite radically different to how she dressed later in her reign, but she really kind of epitomized that sort of 1950s Christian Dior new look glamour. So there were really a lot of chapters to her style, even though now for so many people around the world, when you say the Queen, everyone will have an image that comes to mind that sees her dressed in a very similar way.
Mm-hmm. What's that image that comes to mind for you?
Okay, so going top to toe, it's a beautiful hat, a really colourful, beautifully decorated hat, but one which still really shows off her face, you know? That was very important. She couldn't have anything that was covering her face so that the people that she was going to meet wouldn't be able to see her. She might have a floral dress on underneath a very brightly coloured coat that kind of coordinated with the hat and the dress. So it might be anything from lime green to acid yellow to a lilac colour. She really experimented all colours of the rainbow. And then she would always have, pretty much in her later years, always these black Anello and David loafer heels, a very, very small heel, little gold chain, and of course, always the handbag and a pair of gloves.
Why do you think she cared about fashion? Do you think she really cared about, was putting that much thought into her look?
I think if the Queen hadn't been Queen and she had just been Elizabeth Windsor, there's no way she would have been reading Vogue or anything. I think she'd have been very happy out in her jodhpurs and her tweeds. But I think as part of her destiny, she understood that the role of a monarch is to be seen, and that image has to be a very impressive one and a very memorable one. And I think she really saw it as part of her job. I think fashion can sometimes be put down a little bit and seen as a bit silly, a bit frivolous. But I think the Queen is an absolutely brilliant example of why it's so important. And it's a really vital way of showing that you care, I think. And the Queen did that really well. And when I was researching my book, there were so many examples which showed, she wasn't just putting on what her dressers left out for her. There are quotes from her designers saying, the Queen dresses herself. We provide clothes for her, but she decides what she's going to wear. And if she doesn't like something, or if she doesn't think it's appropriate, then she's not going to wear it. And I think actually Prince Philip really cared a lot as well about how his wife looked. And there's lots of stories about him kind of, giving his opinion on the right hat or whether an outfit would work or not. So, yeah, I think she took it seriously as part of her job. I don't think she was, absolutely loved seeing what was out there, but I think she knew how important it was.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.